By the time you finish this video, it's too late. Your next boss may not be human. Not because humans disappeared, not because office collapsed, and not because robots marched in and took over desks, but because decision making quietly moved somewhere you cannot see, question, or negotiate with. It did not arrive with drama. It arrived as an upgrade, a dashboard, a recommendation system that promised efficiency. And once it worked better, it stayed. You are watching AIQuickIQ. Work has always been hierarchical, but it was at least conversational. You could explain context. You could justify delays. You could argue nuance. You could appeal to judgment, emotion, history, or fairness. Even unfair bosses could be persuaded, worn down, or replaced. That assumption no longer holds. Algorithms do not listen. They do not empathize. They do not reconsider. They calculate. And calculation does not negotiate. Companies did not replace managers out of cruelty. They replaced them out of frustration. Humans are inconsistent. They bring bias, fatigue, mood swings, favoritism, and subjectivity into decisions that corporations increasingly want standardized. Salary adjustment, performance reviews, promotions, and layoffs are slow, emotional, and legally risky when handled by people. AI promises something corporations crave more than fairness: cleanliness, predictability, defensibility. Once productivity becomes measurable at scale through keystrokes, response times, output volume, collaboration graphs, meeting participations, task completion velocity, behavioral analytics, management stopped being a human judgment problem and become a data problem. AI systems ingest everything: how fast you respond to emails, how often you collaborate, how long tasks take, how your performance changes under pressure, how often you ask for clarification, how frequently you push back. They do not evaluate intention. They evaluate patterns. They do not care why something happened. They care that it happened, already happening, quietly. In some organizations, AI systems already recommend promotions with no human override. In others, salary adjustments are generated automatically based on performance scores employees never see. Layoffs are optimized for organizational efficiency, not individual circumstance, not loyalty, not potential, not recovery. When humans are removed from the loop, accountability evaporates. There is no one to argue with. There is no office door to knock on. There is only an output. The unsettling part is not automation. It is opacity. Employees are judged by systems they cannot question, trained on data they never explicitly approved, using criteria they will never fully understand. Performance becomes probabilistic. Potential becomes predictive. Your future at work turns into a forecast rather than a conversation. You are no longer evaluated as a person. You are evaluated as a risk profile. AI bosses do not care if you had a bad month. They do not care if you were sick, grieving, burnt out, or navigating something invisible. They do not consider effort unless it converts into measurable output. They do not reward loyalty unless it's correlated with retention metrics. They do not value creativity unless it improves key performance indicator. They do not pause to reconsider because pausing is inefficiency. They optimize continuously. This creates a deep psychological shift. Humans adapt their behavior to systems that evaluate them. When your boss is an algorithm, you stop trying to be good. You try to be legible. You shape your work to satisfy metrics rather than meaning. You choose safer tasks over important ones. You avoid risks that do not score well. You optimize yourself to avoid penalties you cannot see. Work stops being a place of growth and become a place of compliance. Nobody warned you that work would become a game where you cannot see the rules. Apples become meaningless. You cannot convince an algorithm that your situation was unique. Context becomes noise. Exception handling becomes inefficiency. AI bosses are not cruel, they are indifferent. And indifference scales better than empathy. That is why it spreads. A decision making moves fully into algorithms. Power becomes invisible. Managers become messengers. Agents become interface. Responsibility diffuses until no one is accountable. When something goes wrong, no one decided, it emerged. The system decided becomes the final explanation, and explanations stop there. Already happening. The most dangerous part is not firing, it is normalization. When workers grow up under algorithmic management, they stop expecting explanation. They stop expecting justification. They accept evaluation without dialogue. Control shifts away from people and into infrastructure. Authority no longer has a face. It has a dashboard. You won't argue with your AI boss. You won't negotiate with it. You won't even know when it decided. Next one is worse.